Hello, hello. So I'm gonna help you get over your hangover because this is really awesome stuff. I'm excited to share it with you. So I'm gonna channel 1% of Marty's energy. I think that will be good, right? All right. So let's take a second and all picture something together, shall we? Calming exercise. So it's the start of a new SEO project. Excitement level is high. C-suite is super excited. SEO is the shiny new toy, and everybody wants to play with it. But cut to 60 days later, or 75 days later, and that same team is now firing off complaints. Oh, this is too much work. We don't have time for this. There's no budget. SEO is failing. Now, poor you, you're on the defensive. You rush to explain, but the C-suite, they're impatient. They're not ready to listen. They had their doubts and fears about SEO. And as far as they're concerned, they've been proven right. You're frustrated. They're frustrated. It's not exactly an office Brady Bunch vibe, right? Now, they're not a bad person, right? They're successful leaders focusing on growing their company. They don't have time for SEO. They don't understand it. They don't have faith in it. It feels like an uphill battle for you just to earn their trust. Sound familiar? Anybody? Yes? Now imagine if you could magically win them over, even before you got to this unpleasant situation. If they were there to support you and ask you, hey, what resources do you need? Do you need more budget? Can the other departments help you? If they rallied your call center, the customer support team, IT, traditional marketing and PR behind you, what do you think we could achieve with that support? Unstoppable, right? Now I know what you're thinking. You're saying, sounds so idyllic and blissful that it must exist somewhere over the rainbow where troubles melt like lemon drops high above the chimney tops. But no, this is all possible. I'm gonna share a secret with you. You're not just SEOs. We are the CEO of SEO at our companies. We're powerful folks, guys. We can impact PR and branding and social and user experience and 100 other things. Case in point, what Rand said. There are things that SEOs can do that nobody else can do. So why should SEOs be put in the corner? No longer do we have to be isolated in the marketing department, drooling over the media guy's budget and singing Celine Dion to ourselves. No. We're the CEOs of SEO at our companies, and what do we want? More budget, more resources, understanding, and support. And we can get it. There is a way to win the C-suite over. It's with clear strategy. It's with clear direction. It's with showing the C-suite that we can speak their language and help them expand their comfort zone to include SEO. Now, like you guys, I've had many, many frustrating conversations with clients, but really they're all learning opportunities, right? So let me share one extreme example story with you. There was our SEO team with our wonderful agency support, and we had done this brilliant campaign. We earned tons of high quality links. We got national PR coverage several times over. We had a dramatic lift in social shares. We had a huge lift in traffic. I mean, we were excited. We were patting ourselves on the back. We were high-fiving each other. We thought we did really well. But to the C-suite, they equated SEO success only with ranking improvements. And they thought the entire campaign was a huge failure when we didn't move to #1 in that 30-day period. So they thought SEO is a waste of time, it's not working. I swear, I was so frustrated. I wanted to run down the street screaming my head off. But then I put my tag fee hat on, right? It's always good to channel Moz when you can. And I said, okay, the onus is on me and all of us SEOs to better set expectations and gain alignment on what we're trying to achieve. So I found a way to think like a CEO and make this happen. So I'm gonna show you how you can channel your inner CEO today. Let's get in their heads. What's the CEO's role? Pushing the company forward and propelling growth. They're not often deep in the weeds of strategies and tactics like we need to be. So while we're thinking like intimate strategies for the next weeks and months for one channel, they're thinking how they're going to push their company forward over the next few years. You see the disconnect? Their language is profit and loss. And to really win their support, we have to show them that we can think like them and we can drive towards the same goal of company-wide growth. It's time for us SEOs to sit at the C-suite table with the other cool kids. SEO is your business within the organization, and we need to approach it like a CEO would, especially when it comes to strategy planning. Now, since the C-suite is familiar with business plans, I found that taking aspects of a business plan and converting it into an SEO strategy plan document is really, really helpful. This document will help you gain alignment on strategies. It will help you make a case for the resources you need. It'll help you set expectations for the C-suite. You know, we don't want those, are we there yet questions? So it'll help you set make or break goals, and it will help you earn trust and buy-in so you have their unwavering support throughout. Sounds amazing, right? Well, I'll show you how we can make this happen. The SEO strategic planning process is ideally done at the start of a new project or at the start of a new planning cycle at your company. You'll need to outline a clear strategy that shows what SEO can generate in revenue, plus the risks and potential pitfall and what you need in one simple, short document. This will help show that you can tell the CEOs the direction that you're going to be steering SEO in for the company. And also it'll help you analyze your own progress so we can course correct as needed. Okay, let's get to the plan. The elements are, there's 7 of them. There's goals, your strategies, 6-month growth projections, growth attribution, potential risks, your resource plan, and finally, profit and loss. And I'll walk you through each of them, though of course you will have some of this information already. This document will help with the C-suite by answering the 5 key questions: the who, what, when, where, and how. And it will serve as a conversation starter, so they will be excited to want to learn more about SEO. They'll want to know what you're doing. They'll understand it. Now, have you ever seen a CEO getting excited about SEO? Not that often. So I promise you, with this document, you'll make them put down their iPhones and listen to you. So step 1, we want to outline what's the goal. Now, as Dana DiTommaso had pointed out in her phenomenal presentation at MozCon last year, setting really important, specific, SMART goals is critical. If you haven't seen her presentation, like, run and see it at the end of the day today. But now, while the marketing team will have larger goals, it's important for you as SEOs to have a time-specific and clear revenue-based goal. So for example, I'm giving you an example of a fake widget company. The goal is by December of this year, which is my step goal, to reach $165,000 in revenue per month. And then by July 2016, we want to reach $320,000 in revenue per month. To set benchmarking, we'll say the baseline for June was $96,000. Now, since revenue is the metric that's dearest to the C-suite's heart, We want to try to speak in terms of revenue and show them dollar signs. But if you can't get that information, if you face hiccups, I found you can do a very rough and tumble estimate by taking orders multiplied by average order value to give you a roundabout estimate. It'll still allow you to show the dollar signs. So with this way, it's clear, easy to understand, and the C-suite is very happy. Now, here's our chance to share the strategies that we'll be using and explain the value behind each one. So we're gonna be answering the what we'll do and why we'll do it questions. Now, if you're anything like me, you get super excited about your strategies and what we're gonna do and nerdy about SEO, but it's important not to go into too much detail. Otherwise, we'll just lose their attention. Like, they're busy, guys. Just keep it short and sweet. And I've also found by taking a page from the conversion rate optimization team, we'll lead out with the benefits first. So I'm gonna share a few examples, and don't worry about reading them in detail. You'll have the slides later. They're just random examples that I pulled together. So we'll start off with strategy example 1. We're gonna focus on high demand products to maximize sales. So there's your why, there's your benefit. And so we're gonna tell them, okay, this means we're gonna target our higher demand products like green widgets and red widgets and maybe blue. We want to increase qualified leads and earn links, right? Simple. And we're gonna do this through content and PR. We're gonna hone in on high converting markets. So this will allow us to make our case for local SEO for our stores in like the states that convert really well. We wanna improve conversions by improving our on-site user experience. So this is very important. It helps us make our case for restructuring the navigation or improving page speed or refreshing content, because it ties it back in a way to revenue as well as SEO growth. And finally, we just want to reduce barriers to ranking improvements. So we're going to fix current technical issues on the site. Like if you notice, it's short and sweet. We're not going in like, oh, we have these 505s, we have these 404s, we have 302s. It goes above their head. They don't care. We're just going to say, to rank better, we want to just fix these. So in this way, it's really effective to sell to your audience. Firstly, the benefits are crystal clear. Secondly, we've answered the why behind the what. And with this better understanding, they feel more involved and they're more likely to have confidence in what you're gonna do. So really, everyone's a winner. Now we get to what is potential monthly growth. Okay, slight slap on the wrist, but very gentle, guys, I love you. Us SEOs are very reluctant to forecast any kind of revenue growth when it comes to our clients, and I can understand that. But if we're not ready to commit to any kind of growth projections, how can we expect the C-suite to commit all these resources to us? Showing them some numbers of what we expect SEO to generate in revenue is a very, very important step in your document. This is what's gonna get their interest and show the value that SEO could have. Now, forecasting is an art and a science. We don't wanna do a swag, so no swags, but you wanna just try to think through each strategy and see what could it generate, what could it yield, like how can I expect revenue to grow? So it's not that easy when you first start out, but with a little practice, it's good. And here's the tip that's gonna make it even better. You want to speak in terms of probability. Now, part of why we're reluctant to forecast any type of growth is we don't wanna set ourselves up for disappointment. We'll never nail the numbers 100% correctly. If any of you have, please can you buy my lottery ticket? But if not, then I found that you can say that, okay, I'm 80% confident that we can yield this much growth, which is like a realistic option. It still gives you a 20% buffer, so you can show possibility without backing yourself in the corner. And then I also encourage you to do a 60% probability level, which is an optimistic option. So you can be like, all right, this could be even more growth, but there's still a 40% chance it won't happen. So as examples for my widget company, At the realistic option, at the 80%, we're going to assume a month-to-month growth of between 5 and 15% after a slower start. For my more optimistic option, I'm going to expect maybe a month-to-month growth of 10 to 30%. Remember, I have 40% chance of being wrong. It's okay. Again, after a slower June or July. So we'll put out the numbers. Don't worry about reading them all too, but give you a second to look at them. If you notice, the 60% numbers are much higher than the 80%. Again, it's more optimistic. And when you're coming up with your numbers, try to think, what could make me more confident in my 60% numbers? Because once you show it to the C-suite, they're like, yeah, we want that. That will help you better prioritize your strategies and tactics to work on what's going to be most effective. It's such a good disciplining step in a way, I've found. And again, it will help. Sharing these numbers will show possibility without backing yourself into a corner. And long term, it will help the C-suite trust you more. All right, now we're going to say, where's this growth going to come from? I found that a lot of the C-suite or people unfamiliar with SEO will only equate SEO success with an improvement in the rankings, and then, okay, only if I'm number one will I really do well. But that's not the case, right? We know that we can generate revenue even without a dramatic movement in the rankings. So this step will allow us to share a solid thought process and explain the value behind our strategies, especially the content and PR ones, because they tend to be more nebulous. So for example, Widgets R Us is expecting maybe 60% of organic search, the growth to come from there, maybe another 25% as a result of referral traffic and content outreach, and maybe another 15% as a result of any PR and the direct traffic it sends. Again, it's a small but really mighty step that shows the value behind our different strategies and shows that SEO has more value outside of the SERPs as well. Potential risks. This is where we can go in and explain our probability levels a little bit more. So we can say that, okay, if the risks that we've outlined here were to manifest, then we'd be closer to our 80% numbers, or maybe have even worse performance than 80%. But if we could overcome these risks, then we could be at our 60% probability levels. And the C-suite will want that. They're like, we'd like these larger numbers, of course, more revenue. So just some examples of risks for Widgets R Us is delays in execution of content. Maybe the PR team can't help pitch this, or the IT team is not able to fix the issues in time, or any sort of Google updates that may hinder us, or any sort of technical issues with site updates. So if you notice in this list, we've subtly made our case for the PR team to pitch our content, for the IT team to fix our issues, for the writers and the designers to put up the content. So C-suite's now all involved. They're like, yeah, we don't want there to be any delays. I mean, we can control this. We can do that. So now they're on your side, and they want to help you to make sure. And then if anything happens later, like you don't look defensive, because you're spelling it out in advance. So you'll be like ninja prepared to handle anything that could happen. All right, think back to your last attempt at getting resources, pulling teeth, right? Well, with the strategy plan, we've now gotten to the point where the C-suite is saying like, okay, great, what do you need to make this happen? Like, here, take. So that's where we pull out our resource plan. That's where we can spell out if we need to sort of hire any new people, maybe staff or agency or freelancers, or also if we need time from other departments. So for example, we could say, I have an SEO manager and I have an SEO coordinator, but I'm gonna need a community manager dedicated to me, and I'm gonna need 10 hours a week at least of PR time, and I'm gonna need 15 hours a week of web dev team's time. This way, the powers that be will sort of understand the level of investment upfront, and they'll be able to align their teams to make sure that they can give you this. Now, if you wanted to make a case for hiring a new resource, there are a few more steps you can take to improve the odds. I found that making a sort of business case or a cost-benefit analysis, which essentially just shows that the value that this new resource will bring is going to far exceed their cost to us. So try to just have a few questions ready. You'll want to answer, like, why do we need this person? And if you can, tie it back to your strategies. Explain who will manage them internally, right? Because whoever you get will need to be managed. Explain in dollar amounts the value that we expect their presence to bring. Also outline what happens if we don't have them. Will it affect, maybe we can't do a certain strategy, or maybe it will have less chance of success. And then, of course, dollar amounts, what's the estimated cost? This way we can look like we're really asking for more help for a valid reason, not just so we can put our feet up and go home at 3 o'clock. It's simple, it's clear, and you can't really argue with numbers. Lucky number 7, profit and loss graphs. So, okay, in the old days, we shied away from profit and loss. I mean, we're SEOs, not accountants. They're boring folk, we're cool. But this is a really, really important step. This is what's gonna get their attention and really hold it. And this one, as you can see, goes a little bit deeper than the 6-month growth projections, because we can show how order volume will be impacted. We can show how spend will be impacted. We can show the additional expenses that we'll have and how that impacts revenue. Again, you could go into more detail. You could add your cost per acquisitions in there, or any further metric you like. But it packs a powerful punch at the end to show them that, look, even with all of this, we can still grow revenue this much. And plus, for the CEOs, it shows them that you can think like them, because now they're thinking, gosh, if order volume is going to go up so much, I'm going to have to hire more customer support, or it may impact other departments. So this is why we want to do this step at the end. It's the extra whammy. So we'll just sum up the plan quickly. We've outlined our goal, which is with a step goal and then a longer-term goal. We shared the key strategies, keeping the benefits top of mind. We shared monthly growth projections at 2 probability levels to grab their attention. We showed where the growth would come from to show the value even outside of the SERPs. And we covered the potential risks and certainly made our case to get the C-suite on our side to make this happen. And we shared our resource plan so we can have it all in advance. And we hit it out of the park with the profit and loss graphs. So what do you think, guys? Do you have a better understanding of the next few months will look like? It's so powerful. Okay, you're just like, this is so much work. You know, ain't nobody got time for this. But a few hours to put this together will yield you like months and months of peace, happiness, bliss, and success. Like, I promise you, it is super worth it. Another thing I found is how it's affected our day-to-day execution. We all have those days, right? You go into work, there's like, oh my God, 25 things to do, 10 fires to put out, and you're just like, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna sit there and waste time deciding what to do. But this strategy plan will help counteract all of that. Okay, near the end, guys, you've been great. So now you have your doc, and you're like, okay, now what? Now I have my doc. So you wanna schedule a meeting with the C-suite, and then I'll give you a few extra tips to help you win them over completely. They'll be like madly in love with you. So we're gonna prepare the answers for the tough questions. So you know your C-suite well. You know the common questions that come up with clients. You wanna try to really think through and have proper answers ready. Because if you're at that meeting and they come up with a question like, why are we focusing on X first? Or how do you know Y will work? Or why aren't we doing this what the competitor says? And then, can't we do Z in half the time? Those are my favorite questions. It's like, sure, You pay me double the money, I do it half the time. So, but anyway, just having these answers at the ready at your fingertips will really help you earn their trust, and they'll feel more secure with you and trust you and your plans more. Secondly, bring relevant examples to the meeting. This will help you sort of substantiate your plans and your forecasts and just show that it's not like rabbits pulled out of a hat. It's based on solid data. So you could put together case studies, research, examples. So you could say, all right, we know X was going to work because, share your reason. Go to Moz. Moz recently shared a study on why. I mean, you find a million things on Moz, so I would go there. Or then in the past when we did Z, this is how it performed. So again, it's just solid data that's actionable and authoritative and shows that you have a good solid plan. And 3, you want to create a tactical execution plan. So because this strategy document is meant to be a conversation starter, it breaks the ice, they'll want to learn more. That's when you need to be more prepared than a Boy Scout. So you're going to pull out a little 3-month mini tactical execution plan, what you do anyway, and say that, okay, this is what I'm going to do in month 1, month 2, month 3. These are the mini milestones and goals for each month. So again, you just look so organized, and they'll have total faith in you, and you can do what you want at that point then once you have their buy-in. Then we want to set reporting and communication cadence. So my designer totally stole that from Dilbert or something like that, but it's still funny. Now that you have their buy-in, or while in the meeting, you want to say that, okay, this is how often I'm going to report, and this is what I'm going to show you. So this will help counteract the whole SEO is flavor of the month, and then 60 days later, CEO is looking at, something else, maybe email marketing or something else is fun for them, and you're going to miss out on their support and buy-in. So we want to keep showing them regular reports at the frequency they like to help keep showing them that you have value. So because they're busy, I like doing sort of a weekly graph that just shows sort of this is the effort and this is the impact on revenue, and maybe a monthly one just showing progress against revenue. But you see what will work for your team. Like, you know your C-suite well, right? So you'll find the right cadence. And really remember and remind them that this is not set in stone. It's as flexible as you need it to be. Think of it like a map, like you're driving somewhere. If you find a better detour, you're going to want to take it. So these are not by any means whatsoever restrictive. They're just there to guide you and help you. Moving forward, I think I strongly believe that the companies that will win at SEO will be the ones that have full company support. In this competitive space, having the backing of every department, from customer service to biz dev to traditional marketing and PR to the C-suite and finance, can make us SEOs practically invincible. Okay, it's not as awesome as working on a tropical island on a beach with your umbrella cocktails, but it's still pretty freaking awesome. And we can carve out this future for ourselves. We can make the C-suite fall as madly in love with SEO as we are, and they'll, as a result, understand SEO, will want to do more of it, they'll want to hear more of it. So then we can be focused fully on execution with the budget and resources we need. We'll love what we do so much more, and we'll have the media guys drooling over our budgets. Remember, we as SEO CEOs are powerful enough to make this happen. Thank you.
Thank you. So hugely relevant. I think people don't even realize this happens absolutely everywhere. Yeah. Even at Moz, we go through this exact same process, and things need to be justified. There's a lot of expenses. Rand, can I have more SEO budget? Can I? Yeah. Maybe. No,
he's lost his voice, but he's saying yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing that comes up when claiming, this is a lot of questions, claiming credit for trying to forecast revenue.
Yes.
The issue often comes up in a multi-channel world that different people want to take credit for revenue, and revenue goes up, the product team, wants to say, hey, it's because we did. How do you deal with those kind of situations?
So that's when we really need to work with this, say if I'm working with a PR team to do an outreach effort, that's where I get them excited. I'll say, hey, what we'll do together will hit your goals and my goals. So we can show that, hey, PR did this, but this was an SEO tactic that we came up for SEO. And you want to give everybody credit. I mean, we're not the only ones that will win, but we'll say that through PR, we got this additional exposure that we wouldn't have gotten otherwise. But it was still an SEO tactic that we created that resulted in PR wins.
Yeah, or we shared the results. Yeah.
Exactly, we share the results. Everybody wins.
Okay, Brian Bosarth asks, what steps do you take for really forecasting ranking CTR on ROI? What's the process you do for forecasting those?
So I'll try to look at first, I'll start with the ones that are clearer. So, okay, if I'm doing this, here's what I'm expecting, maybe PR pickup, here's how much referral traffic I could expect based on how successful I think the campaign's gonna be. And then I'll know that, look, in the short term, it's not gonna move up the rankings immediately. But once it does, there are different studies that have click-through rate at different level, but I don't know if that really applies so much because the results are so personalized. So it's really more of a result of, okay, if we do solid work and keep showing progress to Google, getting good engagement, getting authoritative links, then we should move up. And as we do, I'll try to look at some click-through rate studies. And yeah.
Common situation, you're working with an executive or a new client, and they want to see immediate results. When a lot of SEO activities take months, we're working on 6-month, 12-month, 18-month timeframes before we really see a long-term investment. How do you set expectations properly in those situations?
That's where you just got to go in and be really honest. And we can set ourselves for failure if we're going to say, yeah, within 3 months we're going to do this brilliant job. But it doesn't really happen like that, right? So I'd be brutally honest. I'm like, you will probably not see good results there, but we have what I call our sort of leading indicator metrics that we use. So you can look at, okay, hey, our sort of domain authority is going up, or we're getting certain authoritative links, or our traffic is going up, and that will sort of be an indicator that eventually SEO is going to yield results.
Purna, thank you so much for stopping by. Purna Virji, everybody.
Thank you, Cyrus. Bye. Thank you, guys.